Good morning, my name is Yudong, and today we will be sharing our idea called Respond to Me to help organizations such as the Singapore Red Cross Academy to take significant challenges such as the aging population and the shortage of healthcare workers in Singapore. Today, the agenda will be introducing the team, the problem, and mission insights. Why do we need to so this the main idea, implementation, and last but not least, the conclusion. Our team consists of myself, Yudong, Leonard, Jackie, Sky, and Ensign. The main problem is the shortage in healthcare workers in Singapore, as Singapore being one of the world's fastest aging countries. Due to increased life expectancy, delaying birth rates, and many more, our mission is to address the lack of sustainable support system for the healthcare workforce.
Thank you, Yitong, for the introduction. So we already know that this is a wicked problem as it is nearly impossible to solve due to its incomplete changing and complexity requirements. So we can only find solutions to improve people's lives. The main problem is the rapidly aging population is causing the demand for healthcare and social care to increase dramatically. Another key issue that we have identified is that there are no existing applications that caters to user-friendly, easy to use and effective application for the elderly and caregivers. This will be explained in the solutions later. As of 2021, the total healthcare workers in Singapore is 136,000 and a total of 15 billion for the healthcare budget. Singapore needs another 24,000 healthcare workers by 2030 and the projected healthcare budget has risen to 27 billion. So this is an empathy map on the healthcare workers and caregivers in the industry. They constantly see the lack of manpower in the industry and elderly suffering as there is not enough help given. The staff are always complaining about having too many patients and not having enough nurses and resources to cater to the needs of the elderly. They are constantly getting complaints from the elderly about lack of workers and assistance provided too. Due to the shortages of workers, the healthcare workers feel stressed and unhappy due to the never-ending workload and patience. What they could do is to juggle responsibilities between their colleagues, making the workload less heavier and less stressful. For the empathy map on the elderly, they always face a lack of assistance in healthcare facilities. The elderly are also constantly complaining to their families about the caregivers being slow and absent due to their stress levels. They also hear the nurses complaining about the excessive amount of work due to the increasing amount of patients in the healthcare facilities. Due to the lack of manpower and resources in these facilities, the elderly are anxious for their health, afraid that the help will not come in time of need. Therefore, the elderly need to spend time changing healthcare facilities and relying on families for healthcare support. I'll pass the time to Zheng Da to explain why do we need to solve this issue.
All right. Thank you, Leonard, for sharing the information with us. So now moving on to why do we need to solve this issue? The rapid aging population is a concern in Singapore, like many other countries. But what factors contribute to these issues? In this slide, we will explore why it is essential and crucial to address it. In this presentation, we will be discussing why it is imperative to address critical issues in healthcare, social services, and the healthcare costs in Singapore. We will explore why it is essential to find solutions to these interconnected challenges. There are three key factors that we are targeting. One, healthcare strain. Two, social services. And three, healthcare costs. So moving on to point one, healthcare strain. Singapore, like many other nations, is concerned about the strain on the healthcare system. But why is it so important to address this strain here? And what are the factors that contribute to it? Singapore healthcare system is under strain because of various factors. Among the main causes are the aging population, an increase in the need for healthcare services, and the prevalence of chronic diseases. There are longer wait time and difficulty giving the best care possible may be caused by this strain. So now moving on to point number 2, social services. The quality of health is closely linked to the strength of the social services. But how does this connection affect the healthcare in Singapore? According to an article by WHO, World Health, World Health Organization in 2017 and 2022, family structures could change due to the aging population as it influences caregiving responsibilities and financial support. Isolation and loneliness among the elderly population can lead to depression and mental health issues. This leads to the need for more community and support programs. Aging population may have more healthcare needs as well as problems with social isolation and mental health. Hence, social service is pivotal in maintaining good health. Neglecting these aspects can lead to health issues and place additional strain on Singapore healthcare system. Thus, to improve our healthcare, we must also enhance our social services. Now to the last point, point number 3, healthcare costs. According to a report by AIA in 2021, in the last 2 decades, the cost of medical and dental care has increased by 78%. That's nearly double the MAS cost inflation rate over the same period. Seniors may find it difficult to afford the rising healthcare costs because they frequently rely on fixed income, such as their retirement savings, to cover for their expenses. Increased labor force aging may affect productivity and result in a labor shortage, so it also influences economic growth. Given these key issues, why is it important for Singapore to take action now? The potential repercussions of inactions are what create the urgency. The health and well-being of Singaporeans may negatively be impacted by unsustainable healthcare system. If the social services are not strengthened, healthcare costs are not controlled, and the strain of healthcare system is not addressed. Singapore can guarantee a healthier and a more just future for all of its citizens by taking proactive measures. I will stop here and allow Anson to continue discussing the main idea portion of the topic. Thank you.
So thank you, Jackie. So let me talk about our solution, a comprehensive mobile healthcare application for both elderly and caregivers, the Respond to Me app. First of all, the solution is very desirable. We have a user-friendly interface. The application will prioritize a simple and fluent design, catering elderly to limited effort to use the app. Next is the accessibility. It will provide 24/7 access to healthcare resources, allowing users to seek medical advice from the comfort of their homes. Next is it can reduce healthcare disparities. It will bridge gaps in healthcare access, especially for those in remote or undeserved areas. Moreover, the application is very feasible. It got the technological advancement by leveraging existing technological progress. We can develop and maintain this application efficiently. Next is the resource availability. With the right resource and expertise, creating a user-friendly and secure healthcare app is very achievable. Next is the scalability. The app was designed for easy adaptability and expansion to meet future needs. Not only that, the solution is also very viable. It has the financial sustainability. The application will have a business model that ensures its financial viability, possible through partnerships or government support. Next up is the scalability. The app's ability to adapt and expand to meet future demands makes it a viable long-term solution. More than that is the possible outcomes. By improving healthcare access, reducing disparities, and promoting remote consultations, the application will provide significant benefits to users in the healthcare systems. Let's go to the next slide. Hence, let me talk about the benefits and advantages of our solution. First is the enhanced accessibility. Next is the consultations. Next up is the comprehensive healthcare information. It provides a lot of healthcare information that are very useful for both elderly and healthcare givers. Next up is the emergency assistance. We offer SOS features for immediate help during accidents or medical emergencies. Next up, the app is very cost efficient. It can also support caregivers by giving them the availability to help elderlies anytime. It also have a very positive impact on the healthcare systems. It empowers seniors to use the app very easily. Lastly, it can also bring community building by letting the normal citizen joins the healthcare industry. Let's pass the time to Sky to talk about the application.
Thank you, Anson. Now I'll move on to our solution and prototype. Our prototype is Respond to Me, and it's an all-in-one app that will help ease the burden on the healthcare industry due to the increased aging population. We will implement the option to log in via SingPass, and the app will automatically categorize the user as either the elderly or caregiver based on their information on SingPass. This is a benefit for the elderly as they may have difficulty remembering their account passwords. Moving on to the next slide, we have drawn inspiration from the innovative MyResponder application to seamlessly integrate a life-saving SOS feature into our application. Our goal is to provide immediate assistance to seniors during emergencies or accidents, ensuring their safety and peace of mind. Imagine a scenario when an elderly individual or their dedicated caregiver finds themselves in a critical situation, such as an accident or fall. With our SOS feature, they can swiftly take action by simply pressing the SOS button on our application, and there will be a SOS signal sent to the nearby neighboring healthcare facilities and members of the public. They also have the solution option to choose between ambulance or community assistant, judging from the severity of the emergency. Next slide, I will talk about our system's SOS system. It swiftly connects users with help by sending their precise location to the nearest medical facility and nearby individuals. And it offers a user-friendly interface for direct communication with healthcare professionals via calls or chat. We have taken inspiration from What 3 Words to provide precise location sharing through 3 unique words. In GPS challenge situations, users, including the elderly, can manually input their location for an accurate emergency response. Moving on to the next slide, I'll be explaining why do we need to provide SOS service in our application. For both elderly users and caregivers, knowing that there's an emergency response feature in the app can provide a peace of mind, and as it reduces anxiety-related issues due to unexpected health incidents. In the next slide, I will talk about the healthcare information in our app. Our app is a comprehensive healthcare help for the elderly and caregivers with tailored content based on their SingPass login. For elderly, it offers practical tips, tutorials, and engaging videos for simplified healthcare learning. And for caregivers, they can access guides and tutorials for essential caregiving knowledge and skills, enhancing their confidence and compassion in caregiving. Additionally, caregiver can earn a unique certification in elderly care, enhancing skills and trust with loved ones and healthcare professionals. In the next slide, I will be talking about why do we need to provide patient and caregiver education. Our healthcare app educates patients and caregivers, enhancing their quality of life and promoting empathy. Empathy fosters trust and reduces anxiety and improves medical adherence, resulting in better healthcare outcomes. The app also eases the load on healthcare professionals by providing information and support, reducing the need for frequent consultations and enhancing efficiency. Now I'll pass the time back to Anson, and as he will be talking about how we will gonna be implementing this project.
Thank you, Sky, for sharing. So let's talk about the implementation. So the first stage is the problem analysis. We spend 3 months both for the situation analysis and the problem statement. So in this part, we are basically making sure what problem we are targeting at. At the same time, we use 5 months for creating the idea of the solution, which is the application. So the next stage is the problem initiation. We spent 20 months in total to develop the app, which the app is a very big project. The requirement collections and the project analysis spent 3 months each, which in this part we are collecting useful information to help us develop the app. The next part is the planning and designing. We spent 3 months for the planning and 8 months for the designing. In this stage, we are planning out how the app will look like and the user interface and what functions we have the app for the app. The next step is the development. We developed the app for 8 months, which we include a very user-friendly interface, and we include the SOS features as well as the useful information. So the last stage of the program initiation is the testing and deployment stage. We spent 10 months in total for this stage, which we're making sure the app works well and then it can have good functions. So lastly is the conclusion and finalization, which spent us 3 months. So let's go to the conclusion. To conclude everything mentioned by my group members in this project, the aging population is the most noteworthy feature of Singapore's demographic structure. As a result, there's a shortage of competent personnel as well as labor shortage in the healthcare industry in Singapore. Therefore, the healthcare and technological industry have partnered to improve facilities and service for both elderly and the caregivers. The best answers has consistently been to combine functions from various applications into one and offer healthcare personnel extra training. The application, which is user-friendly for elderly use and offer quickly accessibility for healthcare information, will ease the strain of a human resource deficit. That's the end of the presentation. Thank you.